All right, guys, this is Dr. John Shea again regarding the Bobcat fire. I've been off a few days here, but this fire has definitely progressed in different ways that we may or may not have anticipated. So I'm going to start here with a little a compilation that I put together starting from Tuesday, September 8th. Of course, the fire started on Sunday, September 6th, and I started on September 8th. And if you don't save these images in real time at the time of the fire, then you may not be able to see what's actually been going on or the progression. And so this gives us a behavior of this fire or a behavior of fires in general, given the existing climate and the winds and what the firefighters are doing. So we go September 8th, Tuesday, and then the next day, September 9th. So it's kind of starting to spread. I'm going to back it up to Tuesday and then Wednesday. Thursday, it's moving up a little bit, and it stopped moving west, but it's moving up and going north and south, continuing to progress on Friday. And then here I'm showing it with the surface fuels. And again, we had talked about how the timber litter is a rich fuel because it's just basically firewood sitting on the ground. Now the green areas are short grass. Grasses by this time of year probably died and have already dried, and so they're flammable too, but it's not as dense a fuel. So it can burn and the fire will go that way, but it could be easily, more easily put out than if it was burning basically firewood on those more purple areas that you see. So I'm going to back up again from December 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and it's in most of the movement there was that weekend. On that weekend, I'm going to back up here. You see that on the bottom here. I'm just toggle back and forth between Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. Last week, more than a week ago, it was threatening the foothill communities near Pasadena and Sierra Madre and Monrovia. So I'm just going to toggle that again. So here we go, Saturday, Sunday, then Monday. And instead of moving south, it had turned around and started moving more northwest on the area that's close to Pasadena. And you see I marked with a blue dot, that's Mount Harvard. Mount Wilson's just above it, and it's moved up from there. I'm going to toggle back to Sunday, then Monday. It's moving up towards it. Tuesday, it's breaking up, but you see it's really tried to push up more. And you can see it's kind of going up. I'm back from Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday. You see it's kind of dying off around Mount Wilson, but it's still there. It's still there. But what you notice is on the northern front of this, it's picking up. So I'm going to back up again. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a lot is showing up on the northern part because the winds actually have been kind of pushing up that way. And there's a line there. It's going past Angeles Crest Highway, Highway 2. And we go up to Thursday, and that's really blowing up there. And down here in the southern part near Mount Wilson, it looks sparse. It doesn't look as active, but there are some fires there, but a lot of it's going on up north. And that's Thursday. And watch Friday. I'm sorry, we're going to go from Thursday. We're going to see what the fuels are there. You know, it's still following a lot of that purple and the chaparral, the brown stuff. And that's Thursday, and then Friday. And that's where there was a big, almost like an explosion of the fire just spread. I'm going to back up to Thursday again, and Friday, bam, it's hitting those communities, communities, Valiermo. There's a couple other towns up there. I'm not as familiar about it, but it's very sad because up there have not been fires, not been fires for over 142 years. Actually, the records only go back to 1878. So all we know is that since 1878 till the present, up there have not been fires. And so it was very ripe to burn. And unfortunately, there are homes up there. And it's very sad. So that's Friday, September 18th. I'm going to go Thursday and then back to Friday. Bam. It's really growing there. On the south eastern side, you see it is growing a little bit there. But there's a big bam there on September 18th where the fire just has expanded greatly on Friday. And I moved it over here Friday. Then Saturday, it really expands now towards the northwest as well as the northeast. I'm going to back it up to Friday, and then Saturday. So again, Friday the 18th, and then And if I back it up to Thursday, from Thursday 17th to Friday the 18th, a big expansion. And then from Friday the 18th to Saturday, it's moved on. It's burned off though. So it burned off pretty quick. Hopefully firefighting efforts have been helping it, but they had 44-mile-an-hour winds, and this fire has expanded greatly up there. It's very sad. But you see how it's moving towards the northwest and the northeast, and it's following where the richer fuels exist, the brush, the chaparral, the timber, and it's encroaching into the grasses. It will burn, but it's mainly staying along those lines where there have been a lot of firewood and there haven't been fires in the recent past. So Saturday the 19th, and then I'm going to go to Sunday. Let's see, there's the fuels. Sunday is, I'm sorry, Saturday the 19th, and that's showing two sides of it because this fire is really expanding. You can see on the right side there, on Saturday, the fire has moved over to that area on the northeast. There's a big cluster there that we weren't seeing because it had expanded, but now you can see that northeast cluster of fire there. And you can also see the purple, the timber, which is kind of, if you think of it, it's kind of like a fuse or something where the fire wants to follow that. They don't talk about it as much in the news. They just talk about the winds and the firefighters and the valiant efforts, which they're definitely putting forth. But we can also look at this and see what the tendency of what this fire wants to do is. And then Sunday, I went back up to Saturday. Sunday on that northeast part is kind of burned off a little bit, but it's still going northeast. Down by the south near the Altadena, Pasadena area, it's still pretty sparse. It's still burning a little bit, but not a lot. But then Sunday to Monday, I'm going to back up Sunday to Monday. I'm going to toggle that Sunday, Monday. Sunday, you see a lot going in the northeast and northwest and not much down in the south areas. But when I go over to Monday, you see that a big cluster of fires are showing up just north of Mount Wilson, as well as in the northeast section. As I toggle from Sunday to Monday, there's a little cluster there that's really showing up right around Angeles Crest Highway, Highway 2, and that's moving eastwards. So that's Monday morning, and then just a few hours ago, Monday evening. So I'm going to toggle between Monday morning, Monday evening, Monday morning, Monday evening, and you see that on the eastern section there's morning and evening. It's moving. There's some movement. It seems it's still in that area, in that northeast part. But in the southwest part, north of Mount Wilson, you also see from Monday morning, Monday evening, and there's a big change there near Mount Wilson. And a lot of us, if you are in the foothill communities near Pasadena, Altadena area, you've looked up and you've driven by on the 210 freeway and you've seen this cloud of smoke. It looks like it's new and it's coming up, and it's because there's a flare up again from the morning to the evening. There's a big flare up there, and I'm going to show you some video from that. So there is a fire going on there. This is still not contained. It's still moving. There's fuel there to burn. It's going towards the grasses, but it's finishing up burning up the timber. So hopefully we're going to see this thing subside or die down a lot in the southwest movement. But in the northeast, though, that part looks tough because you see all that purple there. That's timber, and so that's fuel for to burn. And I'm going to show you some of the risks there. So again, that's where the fuels are in the purple and the orange, and then where the fires are going on and off. And there's a close-up near Mount Wilson. Mount Wilson, there's a blue dot there in the middle. There's a little loop, a little road there, but you see all that fire detection from the satellite that is just north of Mount Wilson. Of course, they're definitely protecting Mount Wilson and Mount Harvard just because of all the broadcast equipment, the historic telescopes and everything in the observatory that's on Mount Wilson. But they're protecting it, and the fire's just moving up that direction. And hopefully that'll die off. But there is timber. You see that purple there, and as well as the grasses that like to burn pretty quickly and easy. But grasses, as you know, if you're starting a fire somewhere, you get tinder, it flares up really quick and then it burns off. And if there's no firewood, for the firewood hasn't caught, then that flame's not going to last very long. But the fire's definitely moving in that direction. And this is a view at Eaton Canyon Golf Course, just as you're coming up from Sierra Madre Villa, from Sierra Madre Boulevard, and Eaton Canyon Golf Course entrance looking north, and that's the mountain above it. And you see this thick cloud of smoke coming up, and a lot of people have been concerned about that. So now I'm going to change this over to, this is a camera from Mount Wilson looking north. I'm just going to play that really quick. That's like a 6-hour time lapse. You can see there's stuff going on. The camera, they're panning it around. Now they're looking basically north. And when the sun sets, you really can see where the fires are, because it lights up the screen, even though it's gone black and white on the infrared. And you can see it's burning there. And you can see that the profile of trees there. These are not bushes. This is an area that hasn't burned in more than 63 to 67 years, depending on what area. But you see there's actually trees. It's timber. This is not just bushes. This is an area where there are a lot of firewood, basically. And that's what we're looking at in this area here. I'm going to make sure I change my screen share. Yeah, this should be the correct. So here is the fire going in this area. Here's Mount Wilson. Altadena is over here on the lower left. We see parts of Pasadena, Kinaloa Mesa, and then Sierra Madre down here. So it looks like this area is pretty safe. The fire has burned towards this direction. The fuel has been depleted. The backfires that the firefighters have placed have helped, as well as the FOS check, the fire retardant dropped from planes. And they're going to keep working on this area and trying to keep this fire from crossing this road here. And I mean, it looks like it has crossed it, but they're going to keep watching this area. And then as you go up into the northern part of this fire, where it had you can see where it's gray here. Gray means last 2 to 7 days. So this really pushed into this whole neighborhood. Really sad. A lot of people that live out in the more rural areas of the foothills, and where they have this really peaceful part of nature, and the fires just blew through there with the 44-mile-an-hour winds. But you see it's moving there on the northwestern side, and then this part, the northeast. So the northwestern here, so hopefully this is going to burn off and it's not going to keep going too much further. We do see the brown chaparral in the bush up here, which is a little bit more flammable and sustaining than are the grasses. But on this right side here, going eastward, there's a lot of this timber litter, and this is what's concerning. I mean, right now you just see a little cluster here. Hopefully they'll just fight this and stop it, but I'm a little worried about that. So I'm going to go over here to analyze that. This is what we're seeing. It's going here. And on this map, I've added what we call housing density. I'm going to fade that on and off. So you see there are streets in here, the street map. So we know that there are homes there. But when I look at housing density, this actually will let us know where people live. So here, these little white dots here is maybe below density rating, or it's very low, 1 housing unit per 40 acres. So there are homes of people that live in these areas. And then here you see this dark purple. Now we're looking about at least 1 per 2 acres, or more than 3 per acre. So now you have this area, this is Wrightwood. And I'm kind of concerned about this because if you look at these surface fuels, the fire here and this purple here, it's basically, if they don't stop this fire and it follows along Highway 2 here, Angeles Crest, it's going to burn through this. And all this fuel is leading it right into the Wrightwood area. So if I was living in Wrightwood or these other communities here of Big Pines and Wrightwood, I would be very concerned just based on this fact that there's a lot of this fuel. Hopefully there's a perimeter where we've cleaned up and cut away the fuel so that it can't lead too close to the homes. But I don't know what the status is there. So we're just worried about that. The other thing is the wind. And if you look at the wind here, I have this set for Tuesday, 3 p.m. At 3 p.m., you see right now the fire is around this area, around near the 2. If you look back on this map here, right here on the 2, Wrightwood's here on the right here. And so on this wind map, you see this wind for Tuesday afternoon, it's kind of coming northeast and it's kind of blowing this way. And it's a little bit north here at Wrightwood, but it's wanting to push this fire towards the northeast. And of course, if this fire goes northeast, yes, it's going to follow this fuel. So you have wind in its favor and the fuel in its favor. And if I change this to the forecast for, say, Wednesday in the midday, because there's more wind during the midday, we see the fire still kind of, the wind is kind of pushing down here from the north, coming from the north here, it's coming from the southwest, and it's all directing it towards this area here. It's just pushing the fire along. I wonder what Thursday looks like. Thursday, about 3 in the afternoon. Now you really see it moving towards Wrightwood, or at least it's moving towards all of this fuel. So hopefully we don't see a flare up here, but but it's likely, just based on that. I don't know. I'm not an expert in fires and trying to predict this, and I'm not trying to make any claims about it. But if I just look at that, in my way of thinking, just as a concerned homeowner that lives in the area, these are the things I would look at and I would be concerned about. So anyway, that's what we're looking at. It could be moving here towards Big Pines, Wrightwood. I'm sure they already have the evacuation warnings and orders going out. We've looked at these things. We see where the winds are going. We see where the fuels are, where the fire is. The fuse is already lit here, and here's the fuel leading into this area. And it's possible that all of this is at risk of burning. This is tough terrain to fight, and it's going to want to go this direction. So again, that's what we're concerned about. The winds. It's not that these winds are big Santa Ana winds. I don't know if there is going to be a Santa Ana wind. These are just showing about 4 or 5 mile an hour winds, but at least it's showing us the direction of that. So anyway, hope that is helpful for anybody that's just interested in this. I know it's sometimes kind of long-winded. If you happen to live in these areas of Wrightwood, Big Pines, in this area, you must be very concerned. If you lived in Paradise Springs, these areas, Juniper Hills, you might have already been affected by the fire. And my prayers go out to you for that, and I'm so sorry. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll say a prayer for the people who live up here in these areas of Wrightwood, Big Pines, and we pray that this fire gets under control. So take care. Hope that's helpful, and have a good evening.